And I think the Eagles coaching staff will be honest and tell you they have a lot of work to do. There's much work to be done, but they learn. This is a learning tool. This is a valuable learning tool against the best team in pro football right now. Hopefully they bounce back big from this.
Welcome back, live post-game show on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, as well as 6abc.com. Marc Farzetta, Devan Kinney, DGunn with you, and we are exclusively presented by Ocean Casino Resort. Get your tickets right now for Tracy Morgan, live on stage July 16th at Ovation Hall at Ocean Casino. Book it now. Go for the live shows. Go for the win. We can spread out blame a lot throughout this game. We could talk about the steps back, certainly from Jalen Reagor, absolutely from Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith continues to be an enigma for me, not him personally, but the coaching staff and the quarterback. We got into this briefly in the opening segment. Why is it so difficult? How is it so difficult to get somebody who is unquestionably your best wide receiver and really should be your most targeted guy other than Dallas Goedert, just because Dallas Goedert is pretty damn good too. But as far as wide receivers go, why is it so difficult? If we're sitting at home, Gunn or Devan watching this, people in the comments know this as well. If you people are sitting at home and you're watching this game and you constantly see Todd Bowles try to stop the run, why is it so difficult to be able to get your best wide receiver into the game for him to have any type of impact on it in the early goings when the Eagles are still trying to fight and claw their way into this game?
I think when you consider how much single coverage Devontae Smith had, I thought they would double him up a lot. But considering how much single coverage he has, for me, it's the coaching staff's inability to identify that type of matchup. They should have been able to identify that a lot sooner. Not just the head coach, but you have other eyes and ears watching from above as well. You should have been able to identify that and exploit it. You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary, they were down one starting corner. The other starting corner was playing banged up a little bit, and they were giving you one-on-one coverage because they were only playing a single high safety in the game. So the fact that you didn't take advantage of that, and I can't emphasize it enough, you didn't take advantage of that earlier in the game. You know, when your star receiver doesn't even get a look the entire first quarter, not until well into the second quarter, that's a problem. That's inexperience from a coaching staff. And when Nick Sirianni sits back and look at the game field, if he's totally honest with himself about how this game played itself out, he'll recognize that right away. Says, "Doggone it, why didn't I do this a little bit differently early on?" Who knows what the outcome would have been? Who knows how the momentum would have shifted in his favor had he had Devontae Smith to make a big play? Because as we saw, you throw it in Devontae Smith's range, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. That 2-point conversion catch he had was unbelievable.
Jeez,
you know,
yeah.
And the fact that you didn't go to him a lot more, you know, I don't care how many times you double up a frontline receiver, a top quarterback is going to find a way to get him the ball. A coaching staff is going to find a way to get him the ball. And while we're on the subject of the passing game, if I ever see the Eagles try another hitch pass to a wide receiver again, it'll be too soon. I mean, this is one of the few teams in the league that can't run a hitch pass, you know, worth a darn early on in the game. Now it was successful later because the 49ers basically called off the dogs and let the Eagles back in the game. They can't run an effective hitch pass to save their lives.
Are you most notably talking about the 4th and 10 to Jalen Reagor?
Yes.
That's why. That's
but
why
also, why go to Jalen Reagor on 4th and 10? And it's not just this game. It's been throughout the season a theme. Oh, clutch time. Let's go to Jalen Reagor, the least reliable player on the team.
And here's the thing. I think Jalen Reagor was pretty early in the read there, unfortunately. Like, I know somebody came at me on Twitter, actually said respectfully, which I appreciate, but said, "Oh, you don't know the progressions. You don't know the route and anything like that." Well, I definitely know the route because I was watching the route. But as far as the progression, when he got to the top of his drop back, went to Jalen Reagor like it was clockwork. Like that was supposed to be the play. And that's where he decided to go with it. Either that was what Nick Sirianni called, or that was just the decision made by the quarterback. Whatever it was, I thought it was a poorly thrown ball by Jalen Hurts, another miss from him. And then it wasn't exactly a crisp hitch route either from Jalen Reagor on that particular play. So again, we go back to, why not go to Devontae Smith? Even if you have a quarterback that is having an off day, that is just wildly inaccurate. And even for Jalen Hurts' status, and I've been critical of this guy all year, this was a horribly inaccurate day for Jalen Hurts. Why not put yourself, if you're the quarterback, in the best possible position, if your coach isn't doing it, then to look onto the field for your best wide receiver? He was doing it certainly enough in the early goings of this game with Dallas Goedert. And again, Dallas Goedert had a really bad drop on a play that he could have taken for at least 40 yards, it seemed like, because there was, when they did the high cable cam, there was nobody down the field on him. Why not go to Dallas Goedert like that again? Why not go to Devontae Smith continuously throughout this game? There was a crossing pattern that Devontae Smith ran that he was wide open for, and Troy Aikman even pointed it out on the broadcast. I'm looking at it, and we're not the game, so we're not there seeing the whole field. And I'm thinking, was there a safety over the top? Why wouldn't Jalen Hurts go to Devontae Smith on that play? And it was in the second quarter, and he was, in fact, wide open, and Troy Aikman then went to it on the next replay, saying this is the throw right here that Jalen Hurts has to make to Devontae Smith because there was nobody in front of him down the field. So one was a drop, Dallas Goedert. I get it. Okay. Next was just an awful read by Jalen Hurts that continuously happened throughout this game. On the biggest stage, he had his worst game.
We're going to sit back and analyze this game forever.
We got 6 months.
And that's the unfortunate part, because what a game to have to sit back and analyze for the entire offseason.
And I think the Eagles coaching staff will be honest and tell you they have a lot of work to do. There's much work to be done. But they learned. This is a learning tool. This is a valuable learning tool against the best team in pro football right now. Hopefully they bounce back big from this.
And that's really what you want to see. Look, I am still, and I will say this throughout the show today, I'm still my plan hasn't deviated from what it was going into this game. If I was the guy making decisions for the Eagles, like I still don't look at this draft and go, definitely this guy will be my starter over Jalen Hurts next year. Like I don't see one guy in the draft that I go, oh, absolutely that guy. Like that hasn't changed. The fact that Jalen Hurts is 23, the fact that this was his first playoff start, the fact that it's his first time as a starting quarterback, this team's even in the playoffs is something worth bragging about. But he can't deny the fact that he came up small. He didn't come up small enough for me that, oh, yeah, this guy just sucks. He can't play. I'm moving on already. One of those first round picks has to be used on a quarterback. I'm still not there yet. But, however, if you are in the school of being able to bring in or in the opportunity to bring in Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, then, yes, you have my attention. But as far as if you're going to go a young quarterback, if you're going to try to still build with this team, I'm still going to try to build with Jalen Hurts for next year. Next year will be the prove-it year, and I think the Eagles will still end up going that direction because I don't think they're going to look at this draft right now and try to reach for a quarterback, which is what it seems like a lot of teams could be doing in this upcoming draft. And what a lot of people, the draft experts, if you say, they will be the guys looking at this draft going, if you're taking a quarterback to be your franchise guy starting next year, you're reaching for a guy when you look at this draft because nobody really looks like the clear-cut number 1, number 2, number 3 overall pick coming up in this year's draft.
Yeah, you have to be very cautious about wanting to use one of your first-round picks on a quarterback. When you look at for every Josh Allen that has now become a star, Justin Herbert, there's a whole lot of Sam Rosen, Sam Darnold, Dwayne Haskins that you have to be careful of. A lot of teams have missed on quarterbacks in the first round. And because there's no legitimate Trevor Lawrence in this particular draft, you're going to really have to sit back and analyze what you want to do with that. If you want to bring in a veteran quarterback, how many first-round picks are you willing to give up to do so? Which also means you're going to neglect building through the youth movement at another strategic position. Because I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. You need to get a young, fresh stud defensive end. You need to finally address the linebacking situation, something this organization has neglected for years. And you do need to bring in another young cornerback who can play opposite Darius Slay and learn on the fly, or have a veteran in front of him and learn from both Darius Slay and whoever that veteran may be. So it's a tricky situation for the Eagles this offseason in determining exactly how they view the quarterback situation. We were raving about Jalen Hurts, and let's face it, without Jalen Hurts, the Eagles don't even get to the playoffs. But I still think that Jalen relies maybe a little bit too much on his legs. I think sometimes he'll let himself be flushed out of a pocket a little bit quicker than he could had he just stood back there just a fraction of a second longer to look down the field. But again, you're talking about a guy who over the course of 17 games, 18 games, including this game, is getting a wealth of experience and learning how to play this game at this level, not the collegiate level, but at the professional level, which is a whole lot different. Jalen Hurts has made significant strides. Hopefully, when Sirianni formulates the playbook for 2022, it will definitely cater to the strengths of Jalen Hurts, and hopefully we'll see him flourish a lot more than he did this year.
Look, I think, the theme throughout the season was improvements, adjustments, progress. And I just think that drafting a quarterback, unless it's getting someone like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think is ever going to happen, it would be like starting over from square one. Yes, Jalen Hurts had a terrible game. The entire team did. Play calling was bad too. But when you look at it, you mentioned youth movement. It's a young team for the most part, young coaching staff. The fact that Nick Sirianni is the only rookie head coach to make the postseason. The fact that the three of us are even sitting here mid-January, I didn't think we were going to make the postseason. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. I was happy to make it because I wish that game wasn't as bad as it was today. But I think losing Jalen Hurts in the offseason and getting a new quarterback, bringing someone else in would be like starting from square one. And I think we've made so much progress this season and can only get better in the offseason if we build around Jalen Hurts. Draft young wide receivers as well. Yeah, Devontae Smith is amazing, but other than him, he's kind of like, no one else is as reliable. Why we didn't throw to him until the end of the second quarter, I don't know. And I don't know if that's on Jalen Hurts not seeing him or the play calls or what. But I just think that starting fresh with a quarterback would make this team go back to square one. It's not the answer.
Well, I think
real quick, Gunnar.
Yeah.
Real quick, Gunnar, I just want to say this to try to make people smile. Devin, to your point, Cowboys are losing right now, 7-0.
I love to see it.
And it appears that their defense, this is not me celebrating anybody possibly getting hurt. This is just pointing out that the defense might not be as nearly as good as they have normally been. Micah Parsons was just injured on a play. A hit to the head. So I will continue to monitor that. But yes, Cowboys bottom line losing 7-0, 8:48 remaining in the first quarter.
On a number of predictions, I picked the 49ers to win this game. I didn't think Dallas could stand up to the 49ers' physicality on both sides of the football. I think the 49ers are the most physical team in the tournament right now, even more physical than Tampa Bay. 49ers just want to wear you down on both sides of the football. They want to pound you in the running game. That kid, Deebo Samuels, is all world in terms of how they utilize him as a running back, wildcat, wide receiver. And they're going to pound away at you. They are very strong in the trenches on both sides of the football. They're healthy this year compared to 2020. And, they won a hard-fought game against the Rams, the last game of the season, to get in the tournament. And I said once the regular season was over, I thought San Francisco was that team nobody would want to play right now. And right now they're taking it to the Dallas Cowboys. They're owning the Cowboys right now up and down the field. And they're playing that physical brand of football. The Cowboys have improved significantly in defense, but they're still not on the level of the 49ers in terms of aggressiveness and physicality right now.
D'Amico Ryans, how about that? Got that defense playing pretty well, doesn't he? Go figure. By the way, there's one thing did get to me throughout this week, and you touched on it a second ago, Gunnar. Jalen Hurts and college. I have never seen, maybe it was because Alabama was in the national championship again. I don't know. But I have never seen so many questions about college play leading up to a playoff game for any quarterback. Maybe it was because before it was Carson Wentz for his one playoff start. Maybe it was Nick Foles because, I don't know, with Arizona. That never really got brought up. But Jalen Hurts was basically being asked questions as if he had already played in NFL playoff games, albeit college. And look, admittedly, I'm not the biggest college football fan in the world. I don't get all rah-rah about it. I follow it. I watch it. I try to evaluate players as I'm watching it. But as far as the rah-rah stuff with college football, it's just not there for me. I would have thought Jalen Hurts was a NFL playoff veteran by the line of questions he was getting so far. When you look at guys that are at Alabama or Auburn or guys like that in the big programs or Georgia now with them winning the national championship, I don't really take that too much into account because for me, it's still just, there I go, belittling it because it's just college. But I don't really put too much stock in the whole college thing when you're talking about NFL experience. I mean, Jalen Hurts was even asked about, and to his credit, he ignored the question. He was even asked about his high school playing days leading up to his first NFL game. One should have nothing to do with the other.
You're right. But when you play for Alabama, you're playing for a football factory. You're playing to a direct line, to the pros. Alabama program and this year Georgia's program are a whole lot different than most college football programs. And I hope the Eagles draft. I hope the Eagles use all 3 first-round picks and draft players from Alabama or Georgia in this particular draft.
Okay, we can agree on that. Yeah.
Sure. After watching those 2 teams play in a national championship, and I'm looking, man, that defensive player looks good. That defensive player over there looks good. I would love to see it happen. But I understand a little bit why Jalen Hurts has asked certain questions, because when you play for Alabama, you're not just playing for a college football team. You're playing for a college football team with pro history. I mean, you look at how many kids are drafted in the first 2 rounds out of Alabama every year. It's like ridiculous. The number of players that come out of that college, they're playing football with a pro mentality that's second to none when it comes to comparing them to anybody in the collegiate level. But you're right. One should have nothing to do with the other. But because it's Alabama, I kind of understand why Jalen Hurts has asked a certain line of questions more so had he played for another university.
And to that high school question, I again to praise him, he handled that so well. He was just like, next question, that's ridiculous. I don't know why he was asked that, but I do feel like Jalen Hurts' college career is brought up more often than
right. Okay, so I'm not. I mean, I know
you're not crazy.
I'm not totally crazy.
And by national media too. I feel like that's Tom Brady's storyline. He's the GOAT. He's old. Blah blah blah. Jalen Hurts. It's like his college career. They always like to bring that up. So not crazy, Mark.
I almost have to feel. I feel like I have to remind people. He didn't just only go to Alabama, right? Like he left, and I don't hold it against him. But people just act like, oh my God, this guy's Crimson Tide through and through. But anyway, and then I every once in a while, believe it or not, guys, I assume that I'm wrong. Stay with me here. Every once in a while, I'll go, maybe I'm just looking at this wrong. Maybe college really doesn't matter. So I'm going into this game with the idea that, okay, you know what? Yeah, he has played at big programs. He has played at, obviously, Oklahoma and Alabama. Maybe it'll be different, even though he's going on the road in Tampa and he's taking on a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Arians and Bowles and Tom Brady. Maybe he'll still rise above. And didn't happen. Did not happen in this game. And we could go back to that Giants game, the one that they lost, and he looked terrible throughout that game. Devontae Smith being angry afterwards because the ball didn't find him towards the end of that game. And then we go up in this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we see Jalen Hurts repeat a lot of those same mistakes. But just from an accuracy standpoint, when he was called upon to make a play, he didn't make it. And I know you could look at the latter stages of this game, the garbage time of this game, which I will not. I know some people will, but I will not. And I look at the big throws that he could have made, other throws to Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins deep, not even seeing Quez Watkins on an out route. If you didn't see this yet, later today on Twitter, go look up Dan Orlovsky's film breakdown of a Jalen Hurts miss where he didn't even look in the direction. It was a completion he made on the left side of the field where he scrambled away from a play where he had Quez Watkins streaking on an out route down the field. So for me, those are all things that we'll be looking at and analyzing and all that. But basically in the early goings of this game, when the Eagles still had a chance to be in this and Jalen Hurts was asked to finally make plays, make throws, as an NFL quarterback should, he was wildly inaccurate throughout this game. And that to me is more so what will be alarming going into next year. That to me is what we'll overanalyze, continue to break down throughout this offseason. And Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni are going to do the same thing. As they continue to go on into the offseason, they'll look at throws that he should have made in this game where he had time. The offensive line did their job, and he missed Quez Watkins sitting down in the pocket on a soft zone. He sailed one on Dallas Goedert. He overthrew another throw to Quez Watkins in the third quarter of this game. And then
down the sideline. And then the interception that could have been in the end zone when the defensive back fell down covering Devontae Smith. And the safety did a great job of just timing that break perfectly and then went over and picked that pass off. So those are all things that they'll look at with Jalen Hurts saying when they did look at him early in this game to try to make a play, he failed. And ultimately as a quarterback, and this is what I'll look at real quick when I go back to the quarterback position, you can have a lot of problems on a football field and it can not all be the quarterback's fault, but as a quarterback, you can't be a part of the problem.
and he was way too much a part of the problem in the first half of this game.
But DGunn, I want to get your thoughts on, because we've seen Hurts improve a lot throughout the season. I would say, yes, he's had some, like the Giants game is an easy game to point to in terms of overall bad games. How much can a quarterback improve things like accuracy in an off season, right? Does it have to be, oh, no, he's not our guy, we need a new guy because he was inaccurate in a few games, or that's like a weakness of his? Versus, hey, let's, work with him. Let's get Nick and get in specialists to work with Jalen Hurts and improve on that. How likely is that scenario?
That's very likely. And it better be the top of the priority during the offseason. Even the proven quarterbacks, they work out with these quarterback gurus in the offseason to work on things like mechanics, footwork, so on and so forth, accuracy, throwing motion, being able to survey a field better. Those are things that a quarterback needs to work on. Those are things Jalen Hurts definitely needs to work on. So whether the Eagles do it themselves or Jalen does it himself, he should be working with one of these quarterback gurus in the offseason. Jalen Hurts has a lot of potential, but he's still raw in a lot of areas. But you can improve on some of his mistakes, some of his flaws in mechanics, throwing motion, body language, control of his body when he delivers a pass. These are all things that you can work on. So I think it should be at the Eagles' top. If the Eagles are honest with themselves, if they are committed to Jalen Hurts in 2022, it's in their best interest to have their quarterback of 2022 almost immediately start working with somebody who can look at a player and tell you, okay, this is what we're going to work on this week. This is what we're going to work on next week and the week after that.
Mm-hmm. No, I couldn't agree with you more, Gunner. And to add to the Dallas demise a little bit more, still waiting on word for Micah Parsons as to what is exactly going on with him. He was just in the blue medical tent in Dallas, but right now the 49ers lead the Cowboys 10-0. And as I glance at that and trying to find an update there on Micah Parsons, you want to guess who's trending on Twitter right now amongst Eagles fans?
I'm scared. Jalen Rager.
First thing, no, not Jalen Hurts, not Jalen Rager. I'll tell you right now, they don't currently play for the Eagles. Well, one kind of plays for the Eagles. He's a backup quarterback. Gardner Minshew, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson.
I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. I can't.
Also, breaking news. This is by way of Jeff McClain's Twitter. Jalen Hurts is wearing a walking boot.
Oh.
Medical boot on his left leg.
Oh.
So Jalen Hurts wearing a medical boot on his left leg. So we'll see how that will develop. We'll also be talking to John McMullen. He'll be joining us a little bit later in the show today, probably around 1:30, to give us all the goings-on in the post-game press conferences of Nick Sirianni. Rodney McLeod has addressed the media. Dallas Goedert has addressed the media. I'm sure Jalen Hurts is doing that right now. So we'll get that all from John McMullen, who will join the show coming up in about a half hour from Tampa. So we'll get the update right there. But I do want to tell you are watching the live post-game show, and we are presented by the great people at Stateside Vodka. Go for the new Surfside Iced Tea by Stateside Vodka. See the scroll below and use the code JAKIB for 15% off the very popular Stateside Vodka soda. Go to statesidevodka.com for more information. We'll be back with some more piping hot takes when it comes to this Eagles game, a little bit more reaction when it comes to something said after the game about why the Eagles played the way they did against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. More live post-game show when we return.